Hi everyone, welcome. This is Gail Lee Gardner here once again. We've got Topaz Peeples who I will be interviewing today. And Topaz People, when I was reading her bio, she has this awesome bio. It was very interesting for me. Um, she is a God-given business in the business of creating customized treasures, personalized gifts, delectable eateries, gift baskets, and more. Her products promotes inspiration, education, and empowerment to people so they can go out and live the life that they desire. Now, Topaz, welcome, and thank you for accepting this invitation to be on this webinar.
Thank you.
So when I was reading your bio, and I just got to get right into it because what interested me the most was the fact that your products, most people products, so you got products, you've got services, but to have like a tangible item to be able to promote inspiration, education, and empowerment for people so they can live the life that they desire. What is that? I mean, how does something like that work?
Okay, so basically what that is, one product I'm going to showcase was my Inspirational Calendars. And that came about, this is funny. This is a funny story. One day I was in the shower and I'm like, God, I need a calendar because I'm a planner. And he's like, make one. So at that moment, this was last year, I'm like, well, I write poems and I write. So I just got the idea to make an inspirational calendar. So that way when they plan their day, you know what I mean? They can have something. They might be feeling sad or blue. They can have something that like will motivate them and empower them to be great. And then they can be organized and plan at the same time. So that's how that came about. And then I wanted to take it further. So then I began to create some t-shirts that feature one of my poems, God's Phenomenal Woman, because I was thinking about women, you know what I mean? That how us as women take on so much. And I'm like, we phenomenal though. So why not, create that? So it's like the different creation God actually gives me. So, but I wanted people to have something that was sentimental that they can take with them, that they will, if they're feeling sad or blue or happy or however they're feeling, that they can really grasp hold of that concept. And I thought about like putting that in my products and in my business.
Wow, that's very interesting, and I like that. I like that. And, typically when I do these interviews, Topaz, I like to tell people how we met. What are some things that we've done together? What are some things? How did all of this come about? Because everyone that I've interviewed so far, I know them. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm meeting someone that I don't even know or haven't even met, but we've had some sort of an exchange. So if you can kind of just explain that.
Okay, so I first met Ms. Gail Gardner, I think it was August of last year at the She Was Made brunch. And that was my first time coming to something like that. And then when me and her, when I met her, she told me like, I want to work with you. And I had no idea like it would go to the extent that it did. Because, you meet a lot of people in business and some people do say like, I want to work with you and this and that. But when you actually, reach back out and follow back, I knew you were serious. And from meeting you, we've done a lot together. We did a few events with T1 Diabetes, and then I was a panelist speaker for your what was it? It was a few weeks ago. I can't think of the name of it.
The brunch, oh gosh, which it wasn't the brunch. It was a panel discussion about supporting women.
That's right. So we've done that. We've done a few things together. And one thing I must say to the viewers and listeners or whoever is that networking is key. And that's one thing that I love about Gail and what she does is she loves to network and give people exposure. And it's like, it's not always about what you know, about who you know. So I think that this is it's been a great experience just connecting and working with you, and it's just beautiful, I think, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you, I appreciate it. And you know what, networking is key. It is very essential. But you know what too though, Topaz, is that they say it's all about who you know. However, I think it goes a little deeper than that, because you can know someone, there's no collaboration, there's nothing there, right? And so you can know someone, but there's nothing there. So
Right.
to me, it's like, because I've been there, I've met people along the way that say, oh yeah, I want to work with you, I want to help you, I want to do X, Y, and Z. And they don't follow through. And so that's why I tried, I make sure that I do follow through, that I do whatever it takes to kind of help that person or even add value into their life. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So what do you find most challenging about what you do?
I would say the most challenging part would be the actual creation, in a sense, depending on like what the customer would need or want, because I create upon order. So it's like somebody might need, like, for example, I got a perfect example. So for Christmas, like, my friend reached out, he's another business owner. He's like, I need you to go and make me a basket. So, cause I create custom baskets too. And so he had me going to the, Lowe's, and getting some soil and getting some fruit and just different stuff. And I had no idea like why he wanted me to create this. So as I was like creating this basket, I'm like, this is weird. But I was like, well, maybe somebody likes soil, somebody likes fruit, and somebody likes a little tree. But the root of that story was, I guess he had worked for these people when he were a kid, and they planted a seed in him, and the seed grew, and he wanted to show them the fruits of their labor. So that was the whole message of that basket. But I think like the hardest part would be the actual creation, when people just let me freestyle and create, but then I go and pray, and God like shows me how to create what it is that they need. And this also another thing I find is the hardest is really explaining to people what my business is and how it came about, because they just see what I have on the table and think, oh, well, that's not, they don't really know like the importance and the sentimental value that's actually behind it. So I would say those are the two most challenging things, is the actual creation and then the real meaning behind the business itself.
So how did you even get started? I mean, I hear the story behind the story. Um, However, how did you even get started? I mean, what were you doing before you became an entrepreneur? What sparked you to even start entrepreneurship?
Well, it was I already was doing nails for like 15 years and I was baking, but it was in 2015 where I had lost all of my jobs and I couldn't find work, and I was in school and I still have a household to, run. And so at that point, I just had sat down at home one night and I was like, you know what? I'm already like doing little stuff to make money. So I just jumped full fledged, and I had started 2015 just making baskets, like just little cheap little baskets and different little stuff, cakes, and doing nails. So I think that's what actually birthed the business, and the success I've seen when I did that, just that 4 to 6 months. I'm like, I seen over $2,000 in 2 months. So I'm like, wow, like this is something from, and from my own creation. I just sat there like I needed some money at the end of the day. Like I got to pay my bills. I need some money. So I took my skills and crafts and stuff and just made it a business. And then to see where it was at then until now, it's like, whoa. But that was the actual reason. That was my why, because I didn't have a job. I couldn't find work, and I had to do what I needed to do. So I just took my God-given gifts and ran with it.
So where are you in the process of your entrepreneurship?
As of today?
Yes.
Or I would say today I'm more so, at this point, I'm more so in like taking on like the CEO role, more so like I'm looking to hire more people and building my team right now, because it's very hard. I've learned from like doing different events and different stuff that you do need a team. So I would say right now I'm more so into like the CEO role and bringing on people to help me and grow the business.
And how would you go about it? And see here, this is the thing too. So when you hear people talk about, hire a team and doing all, see, you're processing your journey. How do you even begin to do something like that? Put a team together, hire people. How do you even begin to do that? Because in some people's minds, you've got to have the money. You got to have the money to pay for the salary, pay for people, pay your employees. But how do you even begin that process of doing something like that?
I would say for me to begin that process, is to build relationships. So of course, I'm not going to just bring people on that I don't know and just pay. But like, for example, I have already one person on my team, and me and her, she helps me a great deal. and we built not only a friendship, but we built a partnership at the same time. So I would advise like people to first build that friendship and get to know that person, because you don't want, if this is your business, treat like it's your baby. So you don't want just anybody coming in and working for you or working with you if they don't have the same idea and the same vision. So for me, it's really building the relationships and just making sure it's somebody that I'm comfortable with and that I can trust. So far I just have her, because I haven't really explored all the way out, on this larger scale. So I would start small and build the relationship and find somebody that you can trust that will work your business the same way you do it, somebody that's trainable at the same time.
Right. And then how much, so when we're talking about money, and of course you need money, it takes money to make money, but how much would you pay? I mean, how much would you start that person off with?
Me being me, I'm not 100% sure, but I would at least say like between 12 and 13 an hour, depending on what I need them to do. Like, I don't want to start them off too cheap, but not too much at the same time. So I think that would be
finding a balance, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, and even the ones that are beginning, and these are some of the type of questions that they need to know, and need to kind of hear other people talk about too. So Topaz, what's next for you?
For me, what would be next is I'm actually in the process of completing a book. So I'm almost done with my book, and then I'm working more. I'm doing more like speaking engagements, and I'm actually planning a few workshops and classes. So, because I really want to emphasize more on like the communication behind everything, because I did just graduate with a degree in communication, so I'm going to incorporate that into my business. So that's what's next. I'm still creating, but now it's more doing more big girl stuff, if that makes sense.
What do you mean by that, Topaz? Is there little girl stuff and big girls? What do you mean by that?
So it's like now for me, I done walked into the next level. So I'm going to be doing more stuff, like more business stuff on a larger scale, working with different corporations and bigger businesses and stuff. So for me, it's big, because I'm like, who knew that something I thought was so small is actually expanding into something so big. So with that being said, it's like now I have to think on another level. I have to think on a bigger scale. For one, I just graduated, I have a degree, and I want to take care of my loan that I have. But at the same time, I want to help other people to be able to communicate more effectively in their business or whatever that they need, that we need help with. So I kind of want to, I guess, branch out and do more on as far as the communication and writing, just getting that aspect out there.
Awesome. See, that's good. That's good that you're incorporating your degree, the skills that you've learned with that degree, and you putting it into your business. That is awesome. So I always ask people, what was okay, I'm all about reading books, right? Inspirational, self-help books. I'm all about reading books, because I believe that reading is very, very essential in terms of learning something new and being able to apply those things into your life and into your professional life as well. But what book have you read that really had the most impact on you that you can kind of share with us?
Okay, so I read a lot of books because I love reading, but two books that I just recently read that had like a most impact was Joel Osteen, Think Better and Live Better, and then another book I'm reading is Stormy O'Martian, The Power of a Praying Woman. And those two books really had an impact for the fact that Stormy's book, you talk about prayer and the power that a praying woman has. So I took that with Joel's book and I put it together. He's talking about when you think better, you live better. So if you change what you're thinking, you change how you live. And he like really dives deep into that. And I think that has really helped me to really create a plan on what I want to do next, because I was all over the place. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm thinking, trying to do 50 million things at once. But then like from reading these two books, it kind of showed me the importance of praying, and having an active prayer life actually goes with, helping you think. And then it's almost like a if you put a puzzle together. You see what I'm saying? So I think those 2 books really just had a major impact. Not saying that the other books I read didn't, but those 2 books really just like a light bulb went off where I'm like, boom, this is it. So, and I got excited about it. So, and I think those 2 really had a major impact.
You know, one of the things that we go through, it's that whole, we become entrepreneurs. We've got all these great ideas. We want to dip and dab and go into all this stuff and you know, and do all these things. And next thing you know, you're being overwhelmed with something, and then you naturally just become burnt out. So being able to focus and have it at one thing that you're focusing on, I think that is very, very, and that's one of the things that I do too. I help women kind of create that clarity and drive that focus in so they can just stick to one thing. And once you finish that, then you move on to the next thing. But thank you for sharing those books. Any words of wisdom? Because I know you got some wisdom up in you, Topaz. You didn't go to college and get your degree, start your business if you didn't have wisdom. I know you got some.
Yes, I have a few. So the first thing, this popped in my spirit this morning, actually, and I was actually going to go live and speak on that later, but don't look back, keep moving ahead. And when I thought about that, you know, I began to, because oftentimes in life, we begin to look back on things that happened in the past and things that hurt us, and we get stuck, right? We get stagnant. But then it's like, if we die daily and we renew every day, don't look back, just keep moving ahead. So I would say out of all the words of wisdom, I got a lot in me, I would say that that's most important, especially in the world we live in today. It's so much going on. Like, quit looking at things that's in the past and what you could have, should have, or would have did, but just move ahead and do it. So
wow, that's just do it. Confidence, girl, confidence. And
yeah.
in anything that we do, in all things that we do, it's all about confidence. Just doing it, whether you like it or not. And it's the things that you really don't like to do that you like have to do in order to make it work. How do we find you, Topaz?
So I am on social media. I'm on Instagram as TopiSpeaksCreations, and I have a Facebook group titled Topi Speaks, and that group is where you will find pictures, live discussions, different posts of inspiration, and I also have a business page that's linked as TopiSpeaksCreations.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we've came to our end. You gave us 2 books that we can go read. You gave us some wisdom. Don't look back. Do not look back. Stay focused. Keep the picture in front of you and keep moving forward. And you told us how we can find you. I want to thank you. Thank you for accepting this invitation to be interviewed. There's a lot of hidden talent out here, and I want to make sure that I reach all of that talent, because there is something that we can learn from one another in any way. But all the viewers, continue to use what you have today. She was made. Leaders weren't born, but they were made. And in everything that you do, your experience, whether it's good, bad, or traumatic, they are all purpose driven, and it's all for you, and everything happens for a reason, right? But I want to thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, any concerns, any comments, please feel free to leave it. And then if you want to get in contact with Topaz, she gave you her information. We're here. So yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome.